very good evening and a warm welcome to our television. Let's look at the key developments in the business arena for the gone week. Before that, let's look at the top stories for today. Central Bank predicts boost in investor confidence after parliamentary election. Government to establish a state-owned property development institution to monitor 3 hotels. Export Development Board identifies 45 new markets to tap into. News in detail. The central bank announces that the standing deposit facility rate and the standing lending facility rate, which were at 6.5% and 7.5%, will not be changed concerning the slowdown in the economy due to coronavirus. This was announced by the Governor of the Central Bank, Professor W.D. Lakshman, at its second monetary policy review for the year at the Central Bank premises last Thursday.
The Monetary Board decided to maintain the current accommodative monetary policy stance of the Central Bank. As such, the policy interest rates that were reduced by 50 basis points will be maintained at the reduced level. We urge commercial banks to pass the benefit of our policy rate reduction in January to the borrowers without any further delay. At the same time, the Monetary Board extended an assurance to the market that adequate liquidity in domestic financial markets will be maintained to weather any impact arising from global developments, particularly due to the spread of the coronavirus or COVID-19. We have observed policymakers in many economies respond to the rapid spread of the virus through the globe. It is expected that these accommodative measures will continue until the global economy shows clear signs of recovery from the current fragile state.
Speaking further at the second monetary policy review, Central Bank Governor Professor W.D. Lakshman stressed that there will be a boost in investor growth with the political stability followed by parliamentary election and a budget allocation.
Nevertheless, we expect the Sri Lankan economy to do better in 2020 than in 2019 and record a growth rate of around 3.5 to 4%. Following the elections scheduled for end April 2020 and the convening of the new parliament in May, the expected political stability and the presentation of the budget will boost investor confidence further.
The government has approved to set up a state-owned property development institution to regulate 3 state-run hotels. This was announced by the co-cabinet spokesperson, Minister Dr. Ramesh Patrana, at the weekly cabinet press briefing held at the Department of Government Information last Thursday.
Key luxurious hotels and tourism-related assets are owned by the institutions such as Treasury, Employees Provident Fund, Sri Lanka Insurance Corporation, Telecommunication Regulatory Commission and Bank of Ceylon. Hotels such as Grand Hyatt, Grand Oriental, Hilton and Lotus Tower Shopping Complex are pointed out as examples. It has been proposed to create a premium real estate portfolio by bringing such institutions under one unit, and it is revealed that incorporation of such assets has the potential to be further expansion of respective establishments in the future. Since it is not advisable to use state income or government borrowings to develop such property and assets, it will be easier to secure provisions through a high asset institution. Accordingly, the Cabinet of Ministers approved the proposal presented by Prime Minister in his capacity as the Minister of Finance to take necessary steps to take Canville Group, Hotel Developers Private Limited, Grand Oriental Hotels under one institution owned by the Treasury, Bank of Ceylon and Sri Lanka Insurance Corporation.
Market Development Director at the Export Development Board, Anoma Prematilaka, says that they have already identified new 45 markets where Sri Lankan products can be promoted and marketed. ADB's Market Development Director Prematilaka also said that they have taken a lot of measures to diversify the existing export basket and expand the market profitably.
Sri Lanka Export Development Board has a target of US dollars 18.5 billion to be achieved during the year 2020, out of which 13.5 billion will be from the merchandise exports and 5 billion will be from the export services. We also have a strategic objectives to name those to help the existing exporters to bolster their exports and develop new exporters, and also to diversify our export product basket, enter enter into new markets. Those are some of the strategic objectives which were developed to achieve this export target for year 2020. To achieve these targets and objectives, the market promotions or the export promotional programs are very essential. EDB has developed our export market promotion plan year ahead, and also this was based on market and product analysis done using various models, statistical data. So through those statistical analysis, we have identified 45 markets to be targeted during this year.
Stay tuned for more news right after this commercial break. Welcome back after the break. ProFood ProPack and Agnus 2020, Sri Lanka's only comprehensive food, agriculture and packaging exhibition, will be held from 7th to 9th August this year for the 19th consecutive year at the VMICH in Colombo. This was announced at the official launching of the ProFood ProPack and Agnus 2020 and its award ceremony 2019.
The exhibition is organized by the Sri Lanka Food Processors Association together with Lanka Exhibition and Conferences Services. More than 370 stalls have been allocated for the local and foreign manufacturers, which is the biggest event in the country in relation to the Food, Beverage, Packaging and Agriculture Centre. The event will be held under the theme From the Farm to the Fork, denoting the entire chain of the food industry, which includes the inception of the food, which mainly revolve around farms, to the process and finally to the food table of the consumer. Moreover, this year's expo has two separate pavilions from the largest global players in the industry such as India and China, including over 100 companies from both the countries.
Over 25,000 visitors had come to this exhibition each year. It is an opportunity for farmers to reach the public with their products along with food processing companies with many new products of interest together with companies in food packaging industry and related services. Innovative products with new technical know-how contributes a lot for the betterment and progress of the industry. The exposure and correct feedback received from the consumer for the products introduced is truly a valuable opportunity for the food processors. Encouraging university students to innovate new products and ideas along with the industry to recognize their efforts and award them has become part and parcel of the event.
Addressing the same event, Senior Advisor on Economic Affairs to the Prime Minister and former Central Bank Governor, Ajit Niwad Cabral stresses that exhibitions like ProFood, ProPack and Agbis 2020 are an important platform to knowledge sharing and to keep line with modern trends.
We see so many new ways in which products are being processed as well as packaged as well as provided to the consumers. So each day we are beginning to see new methods, new processes, new food items, and immensely challenging environment. So in that sense, keeping abreast itself is a challenge. That is why I think all over the world, we see regular exhibitions of this nature, regular conferences where people share their thoughts, they share their innovations, they share their developments, so that all can benefit by that in order to move forward as an industry.
The Ministry of Finance last week announced that the maximum borrowing limit on low-interest loans was increased to 60,000 rupees from 40,000 rupees. Ministry also announced that the government has also decided to reduce the interest rate remarkably.
The maximum borrowing limit on low-interest loans introduced in an effort to relieve the burden on individuals adversely affected by microfinance loans has been increased from 40,000 rupees to 60,000 rupees. At the same time, annual interest rate has also been reduced to 9% from 14%. An official from the Finance Ministry said that the decision was taken realizing the hardships mainly faced by the women who went for microfinance solutions. The official said that around 14,000 people were stuck with an issue of how to settle the loans taken from various institutions and individuals. The official also said that government introduced this loan scheme to save the general public from those debt traps and to pave them ways to come back to normal lifestyles. The Finance Ministry also announced that the government has allocated 250 million rupees for this loan scheme but so far used only an amount of 9.76 million rupees. Meanwhile, the Treasury has also made arrangements to receive data on a systematic mechanism enabling them to monitor the progress of the project.
As COVID-19 reaches more than 60 countries, the World Bank Group is making available an initial package of up to $12 billion in immediate support to assist countries coping with the health and economic impacts of the global outbreak. This financing is designed to help member countries take effective action to respond to and, where possible, lessen the tragic impacts posed by the COVID-19.
Through this new fast-track package, the World Bank Group will help developing countries strengthen health systems, including better access to health services, to safeguard people from the epidemic, strengthen disease surveillance, bolster public health interventions, and work with the private sector to reduce the impact on economies. The COVID-19 support package will make available initial crisis resources of up to $12 billion in financing, $8 billion of which is new, on a fast-track basis. This comprises up to $2.7 billion new financing from IBRD, $1.3 billion from IDA, complemented by reprioritization of $2 billion of the bank's existing portfolio, and $6 billion from IFC, including $2 billion from existing trade facilities. It will also include policy advice and technical assistance drawing on global expertise and country-level knowledge. World Bank Group President David Malpass said that the package includes emergency financing, policy advice, and technical assistance, building on the World Bank Group's existing instruments and expertise to help countries respond to the crisis. The World Bank support will cover a range of interventions to strengthen health services and primary health care, bolster disease monitoring and reporting, train frontline health workers, encourage community engagement to maintain public trust, and improve access to treatment for the poorest patients. The bank will also provide policy and technical advice to ensure countries can access global expertise.
We'll be back after a short break. Welcome back after the break. Chief Executive Officer and Director of Union Bank Indrajit Wickramasinghe assures to support the small and medium enterprises in Sri Lanka concerning its growth over the last few years. He made this observation last Tuesday, ringing the bell to commence trading at the Colombo Stock Exchange in celebrating its 25 years of service to the nation.
Union Bank PLC recorded 1.2 billion rupees net interest income for the 3 months under review in the fourth quarter in 2019, marking 7% increase year-on-year basis. The bank's loans and advances stood at 77,358 million rupees and recorded a growth of 3,609 million rupees full-year growth, which is a 4.9% increase in comparison to the year before. Subsequently, Union Bank PLC rang the bell at CSE last Tuesday, marking its 25 years of service. CEO of CSE Rajiva Bandaranaike commended the financial progress and heights of the Union Bank addressing the event today.
The decisive leadership has enabled Union Bank to achieve considerable success over the years, having aligned the bank with a main focus on SMEs, who are now considered the backbone of the Sri Lankan economy. We are happy to see that the bank has identified the importance of a developed SME sector within the country and has contributed in no small measure towards entrepreneurship development. The bank had gained significant interest among foreign investors, which resulted in one of the largest FDIs in the country by one of the largest global investment companies, which acquired nearly 70% of the bank's equity. Year on year, the bank has taken steps to establish itself as a member of the country's elite banking fraternity.
Addressing the event, Chief Executive Officer and Director of Union Bank, Indrajit Wickramasinghe, underscored of its future projects and its special emphasis paid on SME sector.
The financial results for the full year 2019, which was released a few days ago, reflects a very, very strong performance despite the challenging macro environment. In this 25th year and beyond, Union Bank will continue to be focused in supporting the corporate and SME sectors. And SME, as very rightly you stated, Rajiv, the backbone of the economy, is going to be of great importance to us as we move ahead. The expanding network and the fully integrated product portfolio will take retail banking of Union Bank to grow at an even faster pace. We are also including digitalization as part of the retail franchise, and that will certainly bring about customer convenience and accessibility.
To make our viewers aware on the stock performances for the past week and its developments for the coming week, now a subject expert at First Capital Holdings will join us in bringing you the usual weekly report.
The market continues to be on a downward trajectory while overall market recording low volumes along with limited turnover levels. The impact of the coronavirus hampered most of the world markets, and Sri Lanka has been no different following a similar pattern. Retail activity has been extremely low, with most investors on the sidelines. This week, foreign buying was seen mainly on TJL Lanka. Commodity prices have fallen across markets, along with the COVID-19 having a major impact on overseas markets and trickling down the negative impact to our very own benchmark index, the ASPI. We expect high net worth and institutional buying to improve in the coming days, which is likely to have a positive impact on the market. Thereby, we can expect reversal in the market back to the green with positive momentum that is likely to be created.
And that's all news for today. And log into our Facebook page to get the latest news and updates. And send us your comments, views and opinions via email address and our hotline. With that, we'll be signing out for today. Take care and good night.